Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are doing day 5 of the 14 days of Valentine's Day. So I'm super excited about these ones. So let's get started. In this video, I am using the Not Polished Universal Tips, and I really like these tips a lot. If you did not know, if you take a long stiletto tip and you cut off the tips, you'll get almost a perfect coffin or a perfect ballerina, or it'll make getting to an almond shape a lot easier. So that's a little trick that I like to use when I am going into a coffin or ballerina shape or even an almond shape, like I said. Taking a stiletto tip and cutting that tip off will get you closer to your shape and faster. So I like to do that. And I really like these tips as well. They glue on nicely. The only thing that I have noticed about these tips is they kind of stick off that nail plate a little bit. So I am going to go in with my sanding band and kind of blend those tips in with the natural nail, just so there's not any pieces that are sticking up. So I'm using that Profiles Backstage fine purple sanding band, and we're just going to blend those tips into that natural nail plate. I have no idea what I was doing that took me so long to get to this point, but I'm going to go in with the Red Iguana Primer, and I'm going to be using my Valentino Pure Beauty Colored Acrylic System. So I will be using the color Soft Touch for the white on this nail, and then I'm going to be using Blossom for the pink. Blossom is my absolute favorite color that Valentino offers right now. I'm literally in love with it. It's such a pretty color. And I'm using the Young Nails number 12 Craig brush. Like you guys know, this is my OG brush. I love it so much. It is, I want to say 52 to 60 online, but there is a really good dupe out there that I love to use as well, and that is the Profiles Backstage Sculpt It Like It's Hot number 12. I've talked about that in my previous videos also, so if you're looking for a dupe for this brush that Sculpt It Like It's Hot, I want to say is about $32 to $35 on the Profiles Backstage website, and it does a really good job as well. We're just going to start with that first bead, place it right where that tip was glued on, and then kind of work around that bead a little bit. As you guys know, again, I don't really focus on trying to get the nail done in one bead. I try to keep the beads to a minimal so that way I'm not doing a whole lot of extra work, but focusing on beads as far as how many I'm using is not necessarily my #1 priority. Okay guys, so at this point we're going to go in with our file and we're going to focus on getting those nice crispy sidewalls. You do want to make sure before you start going in with this file to kind of push on those sidewalls a little bit, very gently, just to make sure if there was any acrylic that transferred over onto that sidewall, you get that taken care of. And then we're going to hold our file straight and we're going to keep it on one side of the sidewall, and then do all of the fingers and then move to the opposite side and do those side walls. This will help ensure that you're holding your wrist straight so you get a nice crispy line and don't end up with oval edges going from side to side. So again, we're just keeping that file straight and going into that side wall. Okay, once I'm done focusing on those side walls, I'm going to go in with my 5-in-1 Kira Sky bit to touch up those inner side walls and the cuticle area. Love this bit so much for that. I keep it at an 8, and for me, that's a perfect speed. I like to take my time around that cuticle area just to make sure I get it nice and flush. So an 8 is perfect for me. We're going to go through and do, in this case, 4 fingers. If I was working on a client, it would be all 10 fingers with this bit first. Once I am done getting those cuticles nice and flush back there, I'm going to go in with my safety bit. It is a large barrel, no, a medium barrel, and it is a medium fine grit. This is from Creations, which I get at my local nail supply store, but I'm pretty sure you can get this online as well. And I just like to use this as my balancing bit. So I will go back through that cuticle area and kind of just smooth over any fine lines. I use this to debulk any acrylic within that apex area and out through the nail. And then I kind of just bounce it side to side and work my way down the nail. And this will help create a really nice smooth nail. Also, when I am balancing, I move the nail side to side. And then I kind of look down the barrel of a nail just to make sure it is smooth all the way through and I don't have any lumpy parts or any sides of the nail that are sticking up a little bit higher than the other sides. So this is probably one of my favorite parts about using my e-file is the balancing part. Look how nice it brings the nail together. It just smooths and balances everything over so well. You can see it when you're actually working on the hand, but when you go back and play the video and you slowly see it coming together, you're just like, damn, that actually is doing some work. Okay, so we're just going to go through and do some finish filing, focusing on those sidewalls and making sure they're nice and tight. Do not forget this step. Turn your client's hand over and file in this direction. This is your client's point of view, and it's very important to see it from their point of view because what you see on your end to what they see on their end is just a little bit different. So turn their hand over and file from that point of view as well. This is going to help get you a really nice straight nail across, and you can also check your length and shape on all of them and make sure they are all going the same direction. They all look the same and are in form with one another. I literally got so excited and went into my buffer, but then I realized that I did not use my sanding band yet. So we're going to go in with that Profiles Backstage purple sanding band in the Grit Fine and kind of just go through all of those nails and take out any imperfections that may have been caused by the balancing bit and keeping up with that cuticle, making sure she stays nice and flush and nice looking. And this mandrel bit I got off of Amazon. Again, I'm probably the queen at being out of frame. Then I'm going to take my sanding band and hold it at an angle and kind of push downward on the bottom of that nail. And that's just going to create a nice little C curve. And then now I can go in with my buffer. And again, with that buffer, you're not going to be moving in one direction. You're either going to be moving in a circular motion or going up one direction and down the opposite direction, just to make sure we keep a nice smooth nail. If you keep that buffer going the same direction, you're just going to still create those imperfections in that nail. So you want to make sure you're moving your buffer around. And then at this point, I would have my clients go wash their hands, get rid of all of that dust, scrub around the cuticle area and underneath the nail. But obviously, I'm not going to take Nicole to the bathroom to wash her hands, so we're just going to do it this way. I'm just admiring the color and the shape. Like, how pretty is that soft touch? How pretty is that blossom pink? So gorge, so gorge. Okay, so I already had an idea in mind of what I wanted to do for these nails, but then I changed my mind and was like, okay, we're going to take all of these hearts off and I'm going to make smaller dots and make smaller hearts because I wanted to make some cherry hearts. How freaking cute. So I'm just going to keep using my dotting tool for these hearts and we're going to make some cherries, some cherry hearts. Okay, like I said before, I love to use my dotting tool for those hearts, but I was scared that my dotting tool would be too big, so I decided to go in with my liner brush to pull down those lines, and that ended up working really good for me. So we're going to cure this for 60 seconds, and then we will start adding the stems and leaf on there. After I added these stems and leaves on there, I was looking at it and I was like, what else can this use? So I decided to go in and add super tiny red dots to the nail just to kind of bring it out a little bit and make it pop some more. Okay, and so for the pink nails, I was just going to go in with a red French, but then I was like, you know what? Let's throw some lips on there. Like, I was super happy with the way these heart cherries turned out, and I was like, I want to do a little extra. So I decided to do some lips. This is my first time doing lips, and so I grabbed my dotting tool, and I was like, these dotting tools, like, literally, you can pull anything from them. So I was like, let me just make some lines here and see if I can get some lips out of there. So that is what I did. Again, this is my first time drawing lips. So that bottom lip was a little big. She had a little bit too many injections in that one, but she was still cute. So I kept her. At this point, I was trying to decide if I should go in with another lip because I was super excited with the way that these ones turned out. But then I was like, knowing me and knowing how I am, I'm going to end up fooking it up. And so I just decided to go in with some dots to kind of clean out that negative space a little bit. And then stick this in the light, cure it for 60 seconds. Okay, and as this was curing in the light, I literally was like, what can I do? Like, this is so fun. I'm loving these lips. So I took that fine crafting glitter. Okay, obviously you're not going to take your client's fingernail off to dip it in some glitter, but that is what we did. So I took that fine crafting glitter and just dipped the tip in there. The residue was still sticky from the polish. And then I went in with my dotting tool and kind of just cleaned out the middle of that mouth and the tip of the mouths, just so that they still looked like some lippies on there. And I'm going in with my not polished, non-wipe top coat, and we'll give that another 60-second cure. I did skip the lips to do the top coat on last, just because obviously the glitter would transfer onto that brush, and I didn't want to get it inside the bottle and forget that I was putting it over glitter. So I did that finger last, so that way I could wipe off the excess glitter before I put it back into my bottle. Okay, we're going to stick her back into the light and cure for 60 seconds, and we are all done. If you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for giving me the time in your day to watch my video, and I appreciate you guys so, so much. Here is the final look of these nails, and I absolutely loved the way these turned out. They were so cute, and that was a perfect